Starting.
Hey, we're live.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for waiting. We didn't get to go live at the top of the hour like we wanted to. We're having some tech issues. I even got knocked off at one point and had to like maybe turn on my cell phone for hotspot because the internet here where I'm at just kind of knocked me out, and just didn't want me to come back for some reason. But you know what? I think that's perfect. It's about our show tonight about attitude and gratitude. And by the way, before we begin, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Katie Stage, and I'm here with my pops, Chris Stage. And we are full-time RVers, and we've been doing that since May of 2017. And we created this show, the Stage Crew Live, which I think, if you ask me, that is the most brilliant name I have ever thought of. Anyways, the reason why we created this show is because we want to give value out to people who are looking for this kind of content, and then in hopes that they can use it in their life or their business, whether they buy from us or not. Whether you buy from us or not doesn't really matter, but we want to present these ideas and these tools that we've been using. Well, we've been online for 5 years now, Dad. It's been a really cool, amazing adventure, and but we want to share these ideas and these tools and stuff that we've been using, and present them to you, like I said, in hopes that will help you change your mindset, or to kind of plant that seed, give you those aha moments. Now, having that kind of attitude that we have, that we want to give this value, whether someone buys from us or not, I think that's very key for people who are out there trying to sell a product or service. And I think that is kind of what we're going to go over tonight, not necessarily on the business side, but on the life side, because um, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in our lives all the time. People get busy all the time, and stuff comes up. We have. Let me just say it in a kind of like a metaphor story, if you don't mind. That you get a deck of cards. There's 52 cards, right? And you want to get. Let's just say those face cards are trials and errors and mistakes and stuff that pops up, like you get a flat tire, something comes up in your life, and those are the I'm sorry, not the face cards, but the normal cards, right? And the face cards, the kings, the queens, the aces, the jack, all of those cards are your aha moments, or your breakthroughs, right? So as you're going through the deck, you're going to be going through a lot of these low cards, the twos, the fives, and the sevens. And those could be like, okay, my dog died, yesterday or last night or overnight or something. That's something that's terribly, horribly, that sucks, right? Or you get a flat tire. Now you got to come up with money to pay for that flat tire. That's a 6 that pops up. Or you have like maybe a 10 that pops up, and all of a sudden, you get, your refrigerator gets broken or something, or the dishwasher breaks. And then all this stuff happens, and you keep flipping those cards, and things just keep happening. But all of a sudden, with that great attitude that you have towards life, it's either you could throw away the deck and just totally give up, or keep flipping, because eventually you're going to get those face cards. You're going to get a queen, you're going to get a king, you're going to get that aha moment, you're going to take that next step, you're going to take that risk, you're going to get out of your comfort zone, and that's when it's going to happen, where you're going to flip, and that's going to take you to the next level, and it's going to be seem all worth it. So I just want to encourage everybody to have that, the deck of cards, just to keep them and keep flipping them, and then just keep going with them. So with that, I'll go ahead and we'll Pops and I will kind of have this conversation here, and want to encourage you to comment. Either if you're watching this on YouTube, you can comment on this live broadcast. We also have a link for a comments page, a special comments page that has all of our, you can connect with us on Facebook, and some other cool information that we can give to you, and to go over there as well. And you can join us over there on that comments page. But anyways, I want to encourage you to join in us on this conversation. Anytime that you have a question, you can definitely do that. If you're watching the replay on this and we're no longer live, I want to say thank you for watching. At any time, you can comment and we will get to you. So without further ado, Pops, if you want to go ahead and start the session, that would be great. Thanks.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Live to We I don't know how many we've done now. Doesn't matter. I'm not a counter as a rule, so we've been at it for a couple of months or so, and again, we've been on the internet for 5 years, and we finally decided that we could share what we've learned over the years with people who know us and those who don't know us, so that we can help you help yourself. Pretty much is what it comes down to. We give you all the information that we know in the world, but if you don't take it and take action on it to help yourself, then you're not going to benefit from any of it. So the key is to take action, and we are part of what we like to call attraction marketing. We like to use attraction marketing, and action actually is in the word attraction. So it all ties in with one another. You can be the most positive person in the world, as Katie said. Flip the cards and finally expect to see a face card come up, where you're taking that action to move yourself towards that face card, so that you can win, or you can go to the next step, or whatever it is. By going to the next step, you can win. And if you try to make a move without that face card, you may end up stepping back a few times. But taking action is very important, but so is your attitude. And having that attitude, having a good attitude, will make it faster. You'll be able to go a little bit faster than people, of course, with a negative attitude, because the negative attitude is going to set you back. It'll hold you back. It'll steer you in the wrong direction. If you listen to other people with a negative attitude, if they're complaining about, say, whatever company you're in, it could be them. It could be them. Actually, when you have a negative attitude, you're going to attract more negativity. And when you have a positive attitude, you're going to attract more positive things into your life. I can attest to that hundreds of times. When I have changed my attitude, then I would get what I want. Just simply by believing in a good attitude, and taking action with that attitude, sharing it with other people, and that would help them, or at least I would get it back. Either get them out of a different attitude, or they would give their positive attitude back to me, which would feed the positivity off each other. And oftentimes, if it was in a business situation, or trying to figure something out, the answer would come to us. Where had it been the other way around, we'd struggle forever to try to find a solution. And having gratitude attached to that will put you in pretty much the now. A lot of people, a lot of us, and I am just as guilty of this, sometimes I'll be thinking about the past in relation to what I'm doing now, or I'll steer the wrong way because my mind is on the past. And I put myself back on track and in the present moment with gratitude, because then I'm thinking about how fortunate I am to be where I'm at and what I have, and fortunate to have found my passion in life. But before that, I was had the gratitude of searching for my passion in life, and I was actively taking action, working towards finding that passion. And it came because I was positive that it was going to show itself. And it came to me actually from another person, which included Katie in that transformation to becoming a coach. And we were in a coaching situation. We were being coached. And my coach, we talk about a lot of the mindset things. And I've studied mindset and self-improvement for a lot of years. And Ken, our coach, Ken, he one day he just stopped and said, why am I telling you this? Because I'm like preaching to the choir, because you have as much information about some of this stuff as I do. And I said, yeah, I've been reading it for a long time. And so we'd end up actually in kind of, instead of coaching me, because I had some of that already going through my head. He coached me, of course, on some of the marketing ideas and approaches. But as far as the mindset stuff, he did do help me on some of that because he is actually far and away advanced at it than I am. Been at it for a lot of years, and actually went to Katie and talked to her about, do I give a lot of information and coaching, coach her and others on how to think or steer you in the right direction, and it turns out to be the right direction. And she said, yeah, actually, he's been doing it for years. And so he came back to me and said, he talked to Katie, he told me that, and that he thinks I would be a good coach. And had I ever thought about doing that? And actually, honestly, I never did think about doing it online or as a profession. And so we talked about that for a while, and I felt very excited and comfortable with that idea. And so I took lessons. I just recently I have had my tutor is one of Adam Mortimer, and he's an international coach is what he is. And I'm very fortunate and blessed to have had him teach me how to become a coach and how to be a coach. And it's just an amazing transformation. And in doing that learning, I found out even more about myself and gained more positivity and became more grateful. And again, when I was talking before about when you're grateful and in a state of gratitude, and if you're in an attitude of gratitude all day long or as much as you can during the day, you're going to be in the present moment instead of in the past. And when you're in the present moment, and you won't be in the future either, although you kind of keep your sights on your goals and in the future, but you're in the present moment, you will see, actually, you'll get nudges from your subconscious and whatever divinity you believe in, what form of divinity you believe in, you'll get them nudges on which way to turn to attain your goals, to reach your goals. And that's been proven over and over again. A lot of the mindset people, Dr. Joe Vitale, I was listening to him today, and he reaffirmed that he not only maintains an attitude of gratitude, but he also has a vision board that he gives thanks for on the stuff that's on his vision board. He shows gratitude in the present moment. In fact, like it's you've probably heard "fake it till you make it," and that's basically what he does. And Oprah, he was on Oprah at one point, and they talked about it. And she too had, and still does have, a vision board, to my knowledge. Why wouldn't she, right? It worked for her to the degree that she's at now, and so does Joe Vitale. And he, when you're in a state of gratitude, you're actually showing gratitude for what you have in the moment, which is what your vision board shows that you have, because the subconscious doesn't know between fact and fiction. So you have gratitude for what you want and have gratitude as though it's in the now. And your subconscious will kind of, it'll become a belief that you have that, and it'll show you how to get more of what you are having gratitude about. It'll help you get more of. Yeah, and it's kind of hard for me yet to explain. Actually, I've tried to find words to try to make them more clear, but it really, even Joe Vitale doesn't have the words to explain, because it seems like it's counterintuitive, but it really does work in the fashion that I have had that happen when I wanted jobs. And a big part of it is to have the gratitude for what I wanted, like the job. And then I wouldn't dwell on it, though. There's a point too where you don't want to dwell on it. You want to let it go and go about your daily business. And having gratitude for what you have is when you dwell on something that you feel as though you want, and you really like grind it through your brain, you're actually showing that you don't have it. and then there goes the present moment, of gratitude in the moment. So you're constantly looking towards the future, which doesn't exist yet, and you're showing kind of lack in that regard, then that you don't have it yet. So it kind of bumps all that in the now out the window. So there's like 3 steps, and it would be, find out it clearly what you want in the visual and emotional, high emotional state, get excited about it and have gratitude for it, and then let it go. Let it go as if, you really don't need to have it because you already have it, right? And all of mindset people will really have you, they teach that over and over and over again. What's that saying in the Bible, Katie, about ask and you shall receive, but then too, you don't dwell on it, you ask, and then you go about your daily chores, your daily business. And Dave made a comment, it really is the vehicle to getting where you want to go, gratitude. That's right, Dave, for sure. It keeps you on track. It keeps you on track and knowing what you want and being thankful for what you have is so important, because you're showing yourself as a winner. Our higher sources, our higher divinity wants us to have a good life and wants us to be prosperous. There's most everybody that has issues, they bring it on themselves, and we have been told that over and over again anyway. As we've been growing up and as we get older, we'll see people sabotage themselves all the time, and it's them sabotaging them, and then they play the blame game because they're not taking full responsibility for their own life. And that's basically what this is all about as well, taking full responsibility for your own life. You are 100%. Nobody made you do anything. They never can, never will. If you're in the present moment, you won't be getting talked into anything that you shouldn't do, not willingly. And you can't even be hypnotized if you don't want to be. You have to be willing to be hypnotized. And even when you are hypnotized, if you don't want to do something, if it's against your total hardcore belief, the hypnotist cannot make you do that. I heard a story. I don't remember who did it. It was in an audio that I listened to. It might have been Joe Vitale. I kind of treat him as a mentor of mine, even though I haven't met him yet, but I think I will eventually. At any rate,
I call those guys silent mentors, if I could say. I call them silent mentors, people that you observe that you don't necessarily get feedback from, but people that you can model after and learn from. So they, without you knowing that they know that you're there. So sorry about that, but silent mentors.
Yep, silent mentors. Exactly. That's a good term. I remember hearing that from you before. So there was where the hell was I?
I'm so sorry. Squirrel moment.
Oh, that's here. That I could have kept it in my head. 100% responsible. I forgot. Well, I'll move on to something else. Anyways, I don't see. I'm going to read Dave's comment. Kind of makes you think of what stops you. The opposite of gratitude. So many people are governed by resentment. That's absolutely true. And the resentment, again, you're backpedaling. And oftentimes some of that resentment comes from limiting beliefs, where you're thinking wrong. Your beliefs are no longer, your old beliefs are no longer serving you. And to become successful and goal-oriented, you need to have good beliefs about everything is possible and everything is good. A lot of people think money is bad. Rich people are stingy and greedy. Well, that's not true. They work their tail off, and most of the people that have had a lot of money or do have a lot of money follow the principles that I'm talking about. And they will give, they donate so much money, my God, so much money out that, and when they do that, it's, and there's been documentation and that once they give money to whatever charity they favor or other items, whatever they think they do, they end up getting that money back and then some, because they're showing gratitude for a charity that's doing some work and helping people. And again, when you have gratitude, you live in a state of gratitude, and that the divinity, the divine, your God, whomever will give you more of what you want so you can share more. And that's important to remember. The more you give, the more you are going to receive, right? And we've been taught that since the biblical time. And in fact, all that stuff, a lot of this stuff is all written in the biblical time. It's in the Bible. Marcus Aurelius, he was a ruler of Rome at one time. He speaks about it in his Marcus Aurelius Meditations is the name of the book. Read through that, and it's amazing stuff that he has written down. A lot of time, a lot of war, and he, other people have read and say the same thing, or they have come up with it themselves. Jesus and Gandhi, Buddha, all of those folks. I can't remember the Oriental guy, but they all say the same thing. You know, you got to have gratitude. You live in a state of gratitude. That's why people meditate, and that's an important thing. I recently started meditating and being grateful for what I have, and I really look forward to meditating because I got to turn my volume down because I think my phone's gonna start making noise. Because your subconscious picks up on all that stuff when you're grateful, and your subconscious again doesn't know the difference between fake stuff or fiction or fact. It just doesn't, and it learns and receives from metaphors and visualization and energy. If you impress upon your subconscious that you're grateful for this, and it will give you more. Boy, I don't know if I can even say much more about that. Convince you, and I'm not even trying to convince you. It's just that I've learned over the years, and more recently through my coaching. And the subconscious drives us. It's there to protect us. So we can't be ticked off at our subconscious or ticked off at what we're doing. We just have to be in the moment and be grateful and show gratitude, and you're going to be happier. If you make a goof of some kind, hey, we all do. You know, I made a goof a little bit trying to set this stuff up. Well, so what? You know, and then Katie lost the internet. Big deal. That's life. It's not a big deal. We're still grateful for being here, and grateful for you folks to listen to this. Dave, for being on board. We appreciate you, man, a lot, a whole lot. You're part of the reason that we're here where we are, and we certainly are grateful to you. And we understand that you understand all this, and it's awesome. And yeah, you posted about government. Don't even pay attention to that stuff. You can't control it. As an example, Mother Teresa, those of you who don't know, she's was a Catholic nun, and she was a very strong missionary and a strong proponent of peace and love. And she was asked why she doesn't attend any war rallies, rallies against war, demonstrations against war. She said that she doesn't attend those because it would just bring more attention to that, which would bring more attention to war, because what people have in their minds collectively will bring about the war. When there was, I'm going to give you an example of the opposite side of that. There's been 19 studies done, and I don't have the study results, but I've read this and seen this and heard it. There are 19 studies where a collective group of people would meditate on peace and love and harmony together at the same time. And in those cities and areas where they were concentrating their attention, crime went down against people, and their accidents went down, less fires, less ambulance calls, and actually people started to prosper even more in them areas. Well, once they stopped meditating in that area, things kind of went back to the way they were. So that shows that they have to be in a constant state of this gratitude and peace and love and living in the moment. And enough people get together and maintain that change. And that's what the meditation movement is a lot about. Some do it for their own self, others do it collectively because they're aware of that way of living. And others, you can meditate on what you want and be grateful for it. And that's another form of manifestation, because you will be impressing that upon your subconscious mind as you meditate. You shut you just basically watch your outer thoughts go by instead of reacting to them. Just let them float on by and still meditate on what you can have, want, or be, and be grateful for it. I don't see any questions, Kate. You grateful? Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it immensely. Do you have anything to add into this, Kate?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head, honestly. And I'm sitting here thinking about all the times and all the hardships that I went through, and continue. It'll happen because, we're all human and we're not perfect and things happen. But having that attitude with gratitude and being thankful for things that show up in your life to either teach you something or to help you love something that maybe you haven't really loved about yourself yet. There's lessons in a lot of stuff. Mistakes that you make, there's lessons in it. There's people that show up that teach you something. And I think that's amazing. And having that kind of attitude towards like, okay, this person is showing up. What are they trying to teach me here? And what am I supposed to learn? And how can I use that to either better myself or better that person, which could better yourself too, right? Because you've experienced that too, Dad. Every time I come to you and I have these problems and I just lay it out, and we never have a quiet walk when we go for our walks. It's always me laying something out toward, to you, so I'm expressing myself. And it turns, we have this kind of discussion where I feel better about how you have a look on it. You give me a different perspective, and I feel more like a better attitude towards it, and actually grateful that I'm able to talk to somebody like you about it and see the other perspective. And it's just an amazing. So I appreciate you, Dad, for doing that. And then also our buddy Dave Rainica, he's the same way. I can talk to him about anything, and he puts it in a perspective on his opinions and his views, and it helps out a lot. So I think it's always good to have those type of people in your life. So that being said, if you don't mind me, Pops, I'm going to just tell people to go to refocusingcoaching.com. There you will find a page of a list of things that Pops will offer. You can set up an appointment, have a free consultation session for him. He will help kind of put those perspective in a new light, so you can break free from being stuck, or break free from trying to sabotage yourself, right? Because we do that all the time. He can help you see those limiting beliefs as to why you have those limiting beliefs, and maybe he can do some clearings, which is amazing, and he can help you out with that. So go to refocusingcoaching.com. You'll find it in the YouTube description below. Also, you can see it on our fancy little comments page here at Stage Crew Live. And but that link is for the comments page is in the description box on YouTube too. But the point is, it's always good to have that someone, even if they don't know you, like Pops. Maybe he doesn't even know you from Adam. Doesn't matter. He has the skills because he's done it all the time, all my life, and all through life. I've seen people always talk about my dad. Like, oh my gosh, Chris Stage is your dad. This dude is awesome. That just happens all the time. And I encourage you to go to refocusingcoaching.com and get that consultation and see, you know what I mean? Do what Pops can do and let him work his magic. Is there anything else you wanted to add? If you wanted to wrap it up, we certainly can do that, Dad.
I want to actually share with people how strong how strong your subconscious mind is, and it helps you breathe when you're sleeping, helps your heart beat when you're sleeping. It helps your blood flow and your air circulate through your veins to get your blood cells all pumped, and it actually can be responsible for your sabotage. Actually, some limiting beliefs that you may have grown up with that don't serve you, and you may not even be aware of what your subconscious is doing for you, and that limiting belief may totally wrong. I found, for an example, one of my limiting beliefs about money was when I saw my folks trying to balance their checkbook, and they were trying to pay a little bit here, a little bit there. And my mom said, "Oh, good, we have paying off this one debt, so we have $5 more a month. We can do this and that," or whatever she wanted to do. I don't know. But my dad said, "No, we got to take that $5 and add it to another lower bill that we have, so we can pay that off sooner, and then we'll have more to pay. And then the more we do that, the sooner we become debt free, except for maybe the mortgage." And they had a bit of an argument about that. And I realized through my coaching, actually, and I worked that out because I had a limiting belief about money and how I can have, why I should have it, and anybody should have it. And we talked about it, and that memory came back to me. But I didn't think about that ever, and why that would affect me. And it didn't make sense. It does now, because I believe that they were lacking money, but yet they were surviving. But that's what they were doing. They were surviving. So I grew up in the middle class, and they actually things did get a lot better as time went by, and they did very well for themselves. But it took time. When I was growing up, it was in the 60s and 70s, and they didn't have a lot done. My dad was the only worker and making money, and my mom had to stay home and take care of the kids as well as then. Hell, I didn't even start watching a TV. The first TV we got was a black and white when I was like, I don't know, maybe 9 or 10 years old. Prior to that, we didn't have a TV. Not very many people did. There was a radio. That was about it. So I realized what that was, and to demonstrate how strong your subconscious, because it does help your body function. So if you stop and think about a lemon for a minute and slice it open and like put it in quarters or whatever, and then take it and pretend like you're biting into it. So I would imagine like by now your mouth is starting to water up. You're starting to get to salivate. And that's what you've told yourself when you imagine that you're going to bite into this lemon. You start to salivate because, yeah, you start getting your mouth, it gets watery, and you start thinking, ooh, and that's what your subconscious is doing. Yeah, Dave says, oh, yeah.
Or how about a pickle? How about a nice, big, juicy dill pickle, too?
Big, juicy dill pickle. Exactly. Yeah. And there's another one, actually. If you take an empty bucket, imagine yourself with an empty bucket, and you hold it out there with your hand like this, and you hold it out there, and then somebody's starting to put rocks in it, and you're holding it as long as you can. It starts to get heavier and heavier and heavier, and there's more rocks getting put in, more rocks coming in, and I'm thinking about it. My arm is starting to go down. I'm trying to fight my arm from going down, and there's more rocks, and it's pretty soon it's starting to get filled up, and it's just getting harder to hold. And that's your subconscious. You know, you're telling your subconscious is what's going on. It can't really see through your eyes so much. You can see through what's listening and the metaphors and what you're putting into it. Believe, whether it's false or real. So, getting back to my money limiting belief, I finally worked through that, so I don't have to have a problem. Because when I was growing up, actually, my kids grew up with the same influence that I grew up with my folks, because that's all I knew. That's all I knew. So I had to change my beliefs and get rid of the limiting beliefs, and it took coaching for me to get rid of it. I would have never known it was there. So it's a powerful tool.
It took network marketing for me to figure out my limited beliefs and take care of that, because as growing up in your household, the limited beliefs that I have is that there's not enough, and I held on to money. I worked all the time. I never took a day off. I made sure that I was early. I made sure, like, if they wanted me to stay late, I would, so I can have, so I can make that money and have enough, because I felt like there wasn't enough. And anytime that someone says, well, you know, go on vacation or something, like, well, I don't want to take a day off because I'm afraid I'm going to, you know, you miss a day, you miss a pay, right? So I had that limited beliefs. It wasn't until I decided to take the way that I did it to take care of that limited belief, just that one specific one. And Pops and my sister Lisa, she told me I was crazy. You know, you guys did, you really did. And because I didn't explain why I was doing it. And after I explained it to, especially with Pops, he finally understood why I was doing that. But I would take a $20 bill, drive up to the gas station, and fill up my gas. Then I would take a $20 bill and I would just put it in the credit card slot. And I would get, I would tell Lisa this and tell Pops this, and Lisa would be like, well, how do you know that person who's going to roll up is going to roll up in a Rolls Royce or something, and they don't need that $20? I'm like, that's not for me to judge. That doesn't matter. It's me letting go with money without, you know, any judgments being passed on me, or being judgments passed on somebody who does roll up in a Rolls Royce or Porsche, who happens to maybe be going through a divorce or something. I don't know. Make something up. I'm just saying, you know, maybe they're about to lose everything, and that $20 bill could pay for, I don't know, something. It would probably help them pay it forward, and it could help them. I don't know. But the point is that it was helping me on my end, and that's all I cared about. So I did that for a while, and it was the most beautiful letting go process that I could ever do for myself. So that's that little story there. So appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thanks for
awesome.
listening.
That's awesome. Yeah, and then you benefit from that because you don't expect anything in return. That is true giving. That's true giving, and gratitude for the fact that you can do that you can afford to do that. And even if you can't afford to do that, you're still paying forward. And don't care, don't matter who gets it. The guy that got it might have been a rich guy, and he's 20. Hell, I can do better than that. I'll put 100. Who knows? It works that way. It's amazing, simply amazing. You watch this guy. They did a video. I don't remember this guy's name now. He had a crew go around with him, and he was videoing paying for people's groceries. And people just, a lot of them were just like really grateful. Some broke down because they really needed the money. They were poor, and he would pay their groceries. They'd start, get it all rung up, start to pay. And he said, oh, wait, excuse me. And the cashier knew what was happening because they had set it up with the grocery store ahead of time. And it's just totally cool. Anyway, we're getting close. Get ready for Rocket Ricky. He's coming up next at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we have a link on our page. On our Facebook, on Stage Crew Live, there's a link for Rocket Ricky, so you can get to it there, and hopefully you'll have enough time to go to the bathroom, get another beverage or whatever it is. David, thank you very much, Dave, for being here. We appreciate it, and everyone else who's watching the replay, thank you again. And we can certainly leave comments, as Katie said, and we'd like to connect with you. And thank you for watching our show. Have a great week until next week. You want to say something? No?
Oh, you skipped out. Okay, bye. Bye.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't hear you say.
Bye.
Okay, see ya. Thanks,
Right.
everyone.
We're
Thanks,
still
everyone.
live.
We're still live.
You know
Thanks,
what? We're
everyone.
still
We're still
live.
live. We're still live. We're still live. Wow, we're still live. I can't believe it. Did you even hit
I
the
know I
button?
haven't pushed the button yet.
Oh,
No.